The revolving doors of Halston Finance Headquarters spun like a silver tornado, reflecting the morning sun so brightly that a tiny girl had to shield her eyes just to step inside. Her name was Jenny Wyatt, 10 years old, small for her age, wearing her brother's old sneakers and a backpack patched with tape. And in her shaking hands, she held a plain white envelope, edges soft from how many times she had gripped it on the long walk here. It wasn't hers, and she needed to return it. Inside were papers. She didn't understand them, but she knew they mattered. They had been important to the person who dropped them on the bus stop bench last night. And Jenny's grandmother always told her, "Lost things belong to worried hearts, sweetheart. Be the girl who returns them." That was why she was standing here now, staring up at a building so tall it made her dizzy. Every floor glowed with glass and steel. Men in suits rushed past her without slowing. Women carrying lattes checked their watches, their heels tapping like impatient metronomes. No one noticed her, except the receptionist. A woman with a sharp bun and sharp eyes eyed Jenny up and down like she was a smudge on the floor. "Sweetheart, this isn't a school tour." Jenny clutched the envelope tighter. "I'm here to return this. I found it, and the name on it is Halston. Is he here?" The woman blinked. Then she laughed. Not a friendly laugh. A surprised, amused, "Are you serious" kind of laugh. "You're looking for Mr. Halston? The Mr. Halston? Child. Do you know how many people try to see him in a week?" Jenny swallowed. "I just want to give this back." The receptionist opened her mouth to shoo her away, but a man walked up right then, checking his phone. Tall, suit so perfect it looked painted on. Expensive haircut, cold expression. He didn't look up until the receptionist said, "Mr. Halston, this little one says she's here for you." He finally glanced at Jenny. A man with everything she didn't have. Power, money, confidence. He looked at her like she was a lost puppy that wandered into a courtroom. "And why," he asked, "would a child be looking for me?" Jenny held out the envelope with both hands. "I'm just returning this." He took one look at it and burst into laughing. Not a small laugh, not polite, a loud, echoing laugh that bounced off the marble walls, sharp enough to make Jenny flinch. Employees lifted their heads, staring. Some smiled, some snickered. Mr. Halston wiped a tear from his eye. "Oh, this is rich," he said. "Did someone put you up to this? Is this a TikTok prank? Who sent you?" "Your friends." Jenny felt heat crawl up her neck. Her hands trembled around the envelope. "No one sent me," she whispered. "I just found it." "You expect me to believe that?" He shook his head, still chuckling. "Kid, this is a multimillion-dollar firm. Not a lost and found box." She tried again. "It had your name." "Yes, that much is obvious," he scoffed. "But I'm not in the business of accepting random envelopes from children." His assistant laughed under his breath. Jenny's chest twisted sharply. The humiliation stung like salt on a wound. She had walked 45 minutes to get here. She hadn't eaten breakfast. She believed this mattered. And they were laughing at her. She lowered her head. I thought returning it was the right thing." Mr. Halston waved her toward the elevator. "Next time, sweetheart, just hand things like that to the police or a mailbox. You don't belong up here." Her eyes burned. She wanted to leave, to run, to forget this entire place existed. But as she took one step back, the office door behind Mr. Halston opened, and everything changed. An older woman stepped out, early 70s, small frame, white hair in a loose braid, wearing a visitor badge and holding a cane with a rubber tip. Her eyes were alert, warm, and deeply intelligent. And the moment she saw the envelope in Jenny's hands, her entire body froze. She whispered, That envelope. Where did you get that?" Jenny looked up, startled. "At the bus stop, last night. I tried to find who it belonged to." The woman pressed a hand to her chest. Emotion, relief, disbelief, and something close to fear washed over her face. "That's mine," she said softly. "Those are my late husband's papers. I've been sick about losing them. They're the last project he ever worked on." Mr. Halston stopped laughing. His assistant turned pale. The older woman stepped closer, her cane tapping lightly. You found this and brought it all the way here by yourself? Jenny nodded. The woman blinked fast, tears suddenly flooding her eyes. Bless your heart, she whispered. You've returned something priceless. Not in money, in memory. She brushed a gentle hand across Jenny's cheek. What's your name, dear? Jenny. Well, Jenny, you've done more good than you realize. Then she slowly turned toward Mr. Halston. He looked like a man who'd just been caught stealing cookies in church. Evan, she said, voice stern now. You laughed at her? He swallowed. I thought. She did what most adults wouldn't bother to do. Her voice sharpened. And you mocked her? The entire lobby went still. Evan Halston's face flushed red. Jenny shifted awkwardly, wanting to disappear. But the woman wasn't done. You should be ashamed, she said softly. Deeply ashamed. This child showed more integrity than everyone in this building combined. Jenny felt something warm spread in her chest. Someone was standing up for her. For once, the older woman wiped her eyes and turned back to Jenny. Come with me, sweetheart, she murmured. I'd like to thank you properly. Evan stepped forward quickly. Ma'am, wait. I can handle this. Let me make it right. Please. The woman raised one eyebrow. Oh? And why would you deserve that privilege? Evan winced. Employees pretended not to watch. Jenny clutched her backpack straps. And then, the older woman said something that made the air in the lobby freeze. Something that shut everyone up. Something that Jenny didn't understand yet. But she would soon. The woman said, Evan, if your father were alive, he'd be ashamed of how you just behaved. This girl will sit with me. And you will fix this. Evan's jaw clenched. His father? Why did his father matter? Why did she say it like a threat? Jenny didn't know yet, but she would. Because this moment, this tiny, trembling moment, was about to change everything in her life, and his. And neither of them could see what was coming next. The elevator doors slid open with a soft chime, and Jenny stepped out beside the older woman, unsure where to look or what to say. Everything felt too clean, too shiny, too expensive. The carpet alone looked like it cost more than her grandmother's entire apartment. The woman walked slowly with her cane, but every step carried authority, gentle but firm. She motioned to a quiet conference room filled with warm sunlight and soft chairs. Sit, dear. Jenny obeyed immediately. The woman sat across from her, folded her hands, and gave a small, kind smile. My name is Linda Halston, she said softly. Evan is my son. Jenny's heart skipped. The man who laughed at her was the son of this gentle old woman? Linda continued. Before he passed, my husband built this company from nothing. A very different man than the one who runs it now. Jenny didn't know what to say. She had never been this close to people who owned skyscrapers. Linda then gently laid the envelope on the table. My husband carried these papers everywhere. They were part of a community project he never finished. When I lost them yesterday, her voice cracked. It felt like I lost him again. Jenny's eyes widened. She had no idea the envelope meant that much. I'm really glad I found it, she whispered. Linda reached across the table and held her hand. Her touch was warm, steady. Sweetheart, you didn't just return papers. You returned memories. You returned a piece of my heart. Jenny swallowed hard. No adult had ever spoken to her like that. Like she mattered. Then, the door swung open. Evan Halston walked in. But he wasn't the same man who laughed in the lobby. No smugness. No arrogance. If anything, he looked nervous. You wanted to see me, he said quietly, avoiding Jenny's gaze. Linda nodded sharply. Sit. Jenny almost felt bad for him. Almost. Evan sat across from them, clasping his hands like a scolded schoolboy. His mother spoke first. Evan, do you know why your father succeeded? He swallowed. Because he worked hard. No, Linda tapped her cane. Because he cared. He cared about people. Every time someone returned something lost, or helped without being asked, he'd say, remember their name. They're the ones who keep the world honest. Evan stared at the table. Linda lifted the envelope. This child did exactly that. Her voice sharpened. And you laughed at her. Silence. Jenny shifted in her seat. Evan closed his eyes for a moment, then finally spoke. You're right, he said softly. I shouldn't have done that. His voice lacked the stone-cold edge from before. He turned to Jenny. Jenny, I'm sorry. Truly. He rubbed his neck awkwardly. I shouldn't have acted like you were a joke. You did something incredibly kind. Jenny didn't know how to respond. She wasn't used to adults apologizing to her. Linda cleared her throat. Apologizing is step 1. Step 2 is doing something about it. Evan blinked. What do you mean? You're going to help her. And not with a cheap handout or hollow words. Jenny looked between them, confused. Linda continued, voice softening again. Jenny, dear, tell me about your family. Jenny hesitated, but something in Linda's eyes made her feel safe. It's just me and my grandma, she said quietly. She tries her best. I try to help. Things are hard. Evan's face shifted, guilt washing over him. Do you like school? Linda asked gently. Jenny nodded. I love learning, but I'm not always there. Grandma says food and rent come first. Linda's eyes glistened. Evan looked away. Then Linda spoke the words that changed everything. Jenny, how would you feel if we helped you stay in school? Properly? Supplies, transportation, tutoring, everything? Jenny's breath caught. She stared at her hands. You'd do that for me? Linda smiled. You earned it with your heart. Evan spoke up, voice steadier now. I want to help too. Not because my mother told me to. He looked Jenny in the eye for the first time. But because I misjudged you. And I don't want the man I was this morning to be the man I stay. Jenny didn't know what to say. Her throat tightened. Her chest felt warm in a way she didn't understand. But Linda wasn't done. Jenny, she said softly, there's something else. She opened the envelope with trembling fingers. Inside were architectural sketches, beautiful drawings of community centers, playground renovations, housing fixes, all dated and labeled. My husband designed these for neighborhoods that needed help the most, Linda said. He wanted children like you to have safe places to grow. She looked at Jenny with a soft, emotional smile. And you brought them home. Jenny blinked fast, trying not to cry. Evan leaned forward. My father used to say, he murmured. Kindness is the only investment that never loses value. He let out a shaky breath. Today, I finally understood what he meant. Linda patted Jenny's hand. You brought us something no money can buy. Hope. Jenny sniffed and wiped her eyes with her sleeve. I just didn't want it to get lost, she whispered. Linda smiled warmly. And it didn't. Because of you. For the first time since entering the building, Jenny smiled. A small, unsure smile, but real. Evan stood up. I'll arrange everything, he said. School support, transportation, supplies, whatever she needs. Linda nodded proudly. That's more like it. But then, Linda leaned in toward Jenny and whispered, Sweetheart, I want you to know something. Jenny tilted her head. Linda continued softly, the world won't always reward kindness right away. Some people will laugh. Some won't understand. But kindness always circles back. Always. Jenny's eyes filled again. Linda squeezed her hand one last time. You proved today that goodness still exists. And because of that, your life is about to change. Jenny stared at the sunlight on the conference table. For the first time, she wasn't scared of the future. She was excited, hopeful, because a single act of honesty, one envelope returned, had opened a door she never imagined she'd be allowed to walk through. And the ripples of it were only just beginning.